If you have never read a book just for the sake of entertainment in your entire life, then you might think this guy is an unemployed person and why the hell he is showing us these many books. Hello everyone, my name is Roshar and on this channel I talk about English learning, books and movies. And for the past 8 or 9 months, I have been reading this one single series and that has been the best reading experience of my entire life. Can you see it? Stormlight Archive. I'm recording this video on my phone from the front camera, so the titles are going to look mirrored. And if you're not able to read that, I'll put a photo here. Look at this gigantic series of books. If I will do this 10 times, that will cover my workout for the day. So this was the reason why I wasn't able to upload a book review regularly, because I was too busy reading this and I was so invested into the world that I didn't want to stop. Like every time I completed a book, I jumped into the next one, and that's how I have spent all of my free time. So the name of this series is Stormlight Archive, and there are total 5 books in this series, and the author is great Brandon Sanderson, who is an American author and he's popularly known for his fantasy writing. Today in this video, I'll try to convince at least one of my viewers to read this series. Just imagine spending 8 to 9 months with a single book series or with just a single media. That's gonna become part of your life, right? We'll talk about the book one by one, but let me tell you why I decided to read this. First of all, I love reading fictional books, and when I finally finished reading The Lord of the Rings and I was reading a lot of classics, my literature books, I was craving some fantasy. And Brandon Sanderson was a name that I saw everywhere, on YouTube, on Insta, or every booktuber I follow, they talked about these books. I don't know how many times I have repeated this single sentence that I love storytelling, be it in any form: books, comics, manga, movies, web shows, anime, animated films. I have tried everything. And I was looking for something big in terms of books, plain text, so that I can improve my spoken English obviously, and I will have something that can last forever. And then I found a Stormlight Archive. So finally I ordered these 3 book mass paperbacks. These are very compact, so you can carry it everywhere, but you need good eyes. And luckily I have good eyes right now. Look at the text. I hope the camera is able to focus. Really tiny. I don't know whether you can see it or not. And one problem with mass paperback is that, the spine is really weak. Just after a week, the pages started coming off. Honestly, it got a bit of attention every time I was reading this publicly, but at that time I was working in a school, so after school or during school break, I was reading this. So because of my school and my free time, I was able to read this book very quickly. So let me tell you what this book is about. So the first book is called The Way of Kings, and this is the introduction. We get to know the world building, the characters, the magic system. The story is set on a planet called Roshar. The name Stormlight comes from the environment of that planet. Humans, plants, animals, they have all adapted to this new ecosystem of this planet called Roshar. And the story starts in a battle. And you think that this guy is the main character, but chapter after chapters you are introduced to new characters, new POVs, and you are not able to decide who is the main character. I have heard a lot of people talking about how it was difficult for them to get into the book. But I still remember reading this 8 or 9 months ago, how invested I was in the world of Roshar. It was completely new, and especially the writing style of the book. You get to know the world as the story progressed. The writer is not giving you facts that this is how it works, this is an animal, this is how the magical power works here. You get to learn about the world as you read the story, and that was the best part. And that writing style got my attention. And I am more of a character guy. I like to spend time with characters, and you can imagine by reading 1300 pages how much time one particular character is given. As soon as I got to know the characters, it was the best thing ever. And my all-time favorite character has become Kaladin. One of the reasons why I never stopped reading this book was Kaladin. He made this story so beautiful for me that I always wanted to go to his chapter, even though that was the most depressing things I had ever read, but that gave me hope. And the way Brandon Sanderson writes, there is always mystery. You don't know what's gonna happen. So even though the first 300 or 400 pages is going to be difficult for a lot of readers, but once you cross that line, I know what I'm asking here. 300 pages? In 300 pages, some books are finished, but that's the introduction of this book. I don't know which book is my favorite. I'll just rank them with reading order, but I loved these 2 especially, Words of Radiance and The Way of Kings, because of the pacing, with how quickly I was able to read. As we moved forward, we got to know about the world, the characters. It just became so fascinating. This is such an epic story that it is very hard to or very unfair to categorize it in one category, just fantasy fiction. I know that's the main theme. You get to spend a lot of time with the characters, you get to learn their philosophy. I'm trying to make it sound intellectual, but honestly, it had a great impact on me. And then the third book is called Oathbringer. The fourth book, which is kind of bulky, I couldn't find a mass paperback, so I had to order this one, Rhythm of War. And the last book, which came last year 2024, that is called Wind and Truth, and this is the bulkiest one out of these 5. I hope it's not gonna fall off. I don't know how this video is going to turn out, but I just wanted to share my love for the book, and I find it really difficult to put them in words, that what it made me feel, what the character Kaladin means to me, and all the other characters, the world itself. And guess what? And this is just the one arc of the book. The series is not even completed yet. The author has planned total 10 books, and he has taken a break from writing this one. But believe me guys, it is worth investing this much time. I haven't read much from Brandon Sanderson, but after reading this, I'm totally convinced that he is one of my favorite authors, and I have already ordered another book series that is called Mistborn Trilogy. The craziest part is that he has created this universe called Cosmere, and most of his books are interconnected. So you understand my point. If you are invested into one world, then you are automatically sold to see one character who appears in another book or another series. So I'm really looking forward to read that. So now I'm planning a series of videos where I'll be talking about one book at a time. I'll share everything about the world of Roshar, the characters, the impact they had on me. And I'm not sure the promise I made that I'll be able to convince at least one person to read that. But this is the line which I always use. If you are trying to improve your spoken English, then any book would do. As long as you are interested in that, be it fiction, non-fiction, fantasy, it doesn't matter which book you are reading. But if you want a really good recommendation, then I'll always recommend Brandon Sanderson, and especially these books. I know that we are living in that era where our attention span is not good. We are surrounded by just so much noise, social media, our other work. And I also understand that when you are trying to make a career, or when you have a lot of things to study, you don't want to spend a lot of time reading for the sake of entertainment. But I hope you guys will find time. Let me know if you have heard of Brandon Sanderson, or if you have read any of these books. Leave your thoughts in the comments. And if you have watched this far, thank you so much for watching. And let me know if you are excited for upcoming videos where I talk about one book at a time. I provide online English classes, so if you want to learn English in one-on-one and group sessions, you can drop me a message on my number and we can work together.